Good morning, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. This is Art to the Round Table. My name is Mello. This is the cover to what may or may not be my for my graphic novel. Spoiler alert: it is, which will be done in a million years from now. But as I'm writing my story, as I'm writing and getting things done, I am beginning to see my characters and my figures clearer now, and I felt compelled to, in a sense, make my own fan art, right? Isn't that what drawing is anyway? Fan art. So anyway, today's gonna be low key. I will be back later on this afternoon for our workshop episode. So, yeah, we're just hanging out. I'm gonna keep working on this because, as my title suggests, I am struggling here. I was with the composition. You can see all of the erasing and the building up. So what I'm doing is I'm going over the stuff that I want to keep with a, I believe this is a number 2B lead. Let me make sure. I don't know if I'll be able to see it. It's either 2B or 4B. It might be 2B. And I just need it to darken up my lines, the ones that I want to solidify and keep as I build. And that's it, really. Build up the forms that I'm going to keep, and then what I'm going to do eventually is scan it, clean it, and print it out to do it all over again, because it's too messy for my eyes. Yeah, man, composition. Who needs it? You know, I think this is probably the most I don't know if that even sounds right. The most characters or the most figures on one page that I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. So, this has been a fun struggle. It really has. Let me lower that. It has been a fun struggle, as it should be. And I think the struggle for me comes in the fact that these are my characters, so I am building and refining as I'm creating. So there's really nothing to fall back on. There's really no other reference. You know, because that's how I work, kind of, right? With all my other pieces, all my fan pieces, is I could always look at inspirations like Jim Lee if I'm drawing X-Men, or anyway, you guys get the idea. You guys get it, I think. And because these people and characters are new, I think what's happening is that I am going through the mental Rolodex of familiar characters and tropes, and I'm trying to weed out the things that don't fit. But here's the weird part: because I've done these before for other characters, they're sneaking in here. So they're kind of like invading. And it's such a weird thing. They're invading my creative thoughts concerning the characters, if that makes sense. None of it makes sense. Anyway, one of the cool things also is that I'm in no rush. I am in absolutely no rush. I'm going to take in every step. Today's garbage day here at Casa de Mel, and my dog is going to pretend like he doesn't remember. Then on Wednesdays, I pick up the trash here. So, there's a part of this that I really need to just accept. Where is my pencil sharpener? And it's my main character's form here. Here we go. So I'm just gonna hang back. But yeah, what I was saying is, yeah, I was having so much trouble with her form, how I wanted her here. I had so much trouble with this guy, her brother, this character, Enix. They're young, they're in their early 20s, and it's hard to portray that when you also want them to appear not necessarily war hardened, but maybe young in age but not in experience. I don't think this is still at it. I think this is too light. He got a JR look to him. Then I don't know if I want to keep. Good morning, Nova Draws Comics. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. I have to put my gloves on. I think these, I gotta throw these in the wash. All this does is, I'm using it to prevent smearing and smudging, and all it's doing is smearing and smudging. I don't know if I like his nose. Yes, good morning. I hope you are doing well. I'm gonna have to do a lot of chainmail practice. Drawing chainmail. You doing a Chun-Li drawing? You haven't drawn her in a while? I don't believe that. Is there any particular era of her design that you like? I know they pretty much stay the same, but I guess I'm asking in terms of how she's drawn and portrayed. Unbelievable. I'm gonna have to do a Chun-Li one day on my stream for you, bud. Friendo. The Alpha? Yeah. That art style is pretty good, though. Alright. I got worried there. I thought my wrist was numb. Alright, let's see. Should I put it like that in case you guys want to draw the hand? It won't hold. It'll hold, but it won't stay there. The weight's too much. Or I can use my Is that how you? That's a great way to tell time. All right, let me see if I can see my hand here. The knuckles are up here. The hardest part about this piece is the foreshortened hand. The whole arm is foreshortened, so it makes it difficult. So I have to make it bigger than what I normally would so that I can make sure it reads. Knuckle. Post today. I used to do that. I almost burned myself out. So what I started to do was I would do all my recordings early. I still do that now, so I have stuff that's scheduled. Alright, so the hilt is going to be there, so a lot of that's not going to be seen, so the thumb somewhere around here. You may not even see the thumb. You didn't post anything in 2 days that I didn't? Okay, so you didn't post anything in 2 days. You're abandoning your fans. I'm kidding. I'm gonna leave space for her braid, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it this way or that way. I'm gonna have it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll do it in post. I'm gonna have to find a way to design her blade as well. He's playing Street Fighter 6. So I haven't played a Street Fighter in so long. I tell you what though, that virtual fighter looks good. So what I'm doing is when I do these around these curves here on my forms is to allow my mind to register them in 3D space, giving them that curve, that disappearing in the edges and hard edges. And that'll inform me later on when I'm inking or if I paint this thing. And yeah, it looks messy. But a lot of this stuff you guys won't see anyway, the finished product. Yeah, man, I was having so much trouble with the composition of this poster or this cover because I want to give these are really the 5 main characters. I have others, maybe maybe another 5 more that are our secondary. This honestly is more of a way to keep me motivated into what I'm doing, keep me engaged in the stuff that I'm writing, keep me excited about my own characters. Because sometimes what happens is that because it's ours, because it's yours, I'm assuming you're either gonna really love it, or it becomes a struggle with what's the word I'm looking complacency. It's mine, I'll get to it when I get to it. Like, you know, the round to it. But it's gonna be all right. Yes. Good morning, DW. How you doing? Yes, man. It was done in the off day. The change of composition. Uh, I was struggling. You can still see. Let me put this up here. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's too bright. But you can still see eyes inside the hair. He was gonna be here. I actually drew him out. He was here with a bow and arrow. This is actually the line, this harsh blue line right here. It was the arrow string being pulled. And it just did not feel right and register right to me. It was competing too much. I would have to squeeze and just draw it really weird. And I was like, I just didn't like it. I'm just strumming through artwork here. Completely different feel, but there's a face in here that I like that Neil Adams inked that I'm vibing with. That's supposed to be Solomon Kane. If you're familiar with Solomon Kane, he's another character that was created by Roy Thomas. Is it Roy Thomas? The dude that did Conan. Yes. Robert E. Howard, sorry. Roy Thomas wrote this. Robert E. Howard created. Here, so on the 13th, I drew this. I sat aside. I was kind of like, I was still had all this stuff in my head, so I drew this piece. Because this is really what I love doing these type of poster collages. So I really like the way he came out here, and her as well. Compositionally though, they're way too tight. They almost merged into each other. She needs to be either a little bit further to the right and further back. But anyway, I like the face, so I went ahead and grabbed my my light box and I put him here. I kind of aged him up. I gave him more edges around the cheek. He looks too young in this shot, even though I still kind of like it. So I may or may not. So right now I am kind of like finding what age I want to draw him in. Too young, too old. I kind of like that one. He's supposed to be 18, 19 years old. That looks more 18, 19 years old. So I think that cheekbone is too high to make him look 18, 19 years old. But hey, it is medieval times. Some people age differently. I'm just drawing lines. Things don't make sense. All right, here. So you enjoy creating your own comic covers of books that you read? Oh yeah, that's cool. That's something I haven't done. I've only done I've done more of that this year, kind of like the way I did my Spawn Blade and my Green Lantern and Steel. Like I was in my mind thinking of really cool collaborations and what it would look like in a comic book cover style. So I guess that's the same thing. I think the most elaborate one I've done was the use your words, Mel. The Dick Tracy one. Yeah, which I gotta say, it got a really good reaction at that Comic-Con when I was sharing it. Really good and really different from depending who I was sharing it with. I think writers and collaborators, they dug it. Other creators kind of they were more critical on the artwork of it, kind of bypassing the process, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I think that writers and creators and collaborators have a broader appreciation of certain things. I think they can see the potential of certain things, while some other some tighter some, you know what, some other tight-assed artists kind of they use their expertise as a way to kind of like, yeah, it's all right, but not give any feedback. Does it make sense? But then again, I don't know what I was expecting from those other artists anyway. I wanted a ton of critique. I wanted more critique, but um, I didn't get a chance to. The artists that I did show, one of them said I sounded like a hillbilly. The other one mainly critiqued the texture of the page, not necessarily the artwork, so I guess that's good. And lovingly enough, people knew who the heck Dick Tracy was. When I was drawing Dick Tracy live, I had to do some splaining, which is, I guess, is really cool if you think about it. That there's some person that was introduced to Dick Tracy because of my artwork, and I think that's actually really cool. But I didn't get the I didn't get. Oh man, I don't know. I'm doing lines here, just following the hot mess I have behind there, and I don't know what they're gonna fit into. Good morning, Saboteur. How you doing? How you doing? That could be a hot mess of energy behind them. Who cares? We'll figure out those lines during the real thing. Yeah, you gotta let them know. Gotta let the youngins know about Detective Richard Tracy. The Dick Tracy. All right. But yeah, yep. I just want to get this stuff tightened up enough where I can scan it and then print it out really, really, really faint and draw over it again. I want to what the hell? I want to do some practice on textures. Not so much chainmail, but she does have some slight armor. He has a lot of hoods and textile work on his scarves and stuff on his thing, and these guys up there are fine. I think I just darken it up and it'll look cool. But I am looking forward to getting consumed by this stuff, but I'm also being okay. One of the things that was messing with me already was the whole thought process of the amount of work that this is going to take. And I didn't want that to take me away from finishing my story. Yeah, the stash helps, right? It looks good. He may still have the stash later. There is a chapter dedicated to the uncle here. That is all right. So something tragic happens early in the story, where my hero's a youngin'. There's a time jump of 10 years. This is them in that current age. There's a flashback of 13 years. It culminates in him. So there is some movement. It's not too convoluted, but I wanted to have certain breaks, certain revelations to happen, and certain breaks in the story in the middle of something exciting happening. And then having a chapter connect the dots. And reestablish some questions. DW says, I have definitely felt like I got distracted by nearly fully focusing on the art side of things that I never even finished writing the stories I want to draw. Yeah, yes, I feel that. I think that visual creators like ourselves are kind of like, ooh, that'd be cool to see, or that'd be cool, because we think visually. Everything is already playing out in our minds. Look at that. That'd be kind of cool. Hold on, let me see. I'm a nerd, so he got a glowing eye. So so I know exactly what you mean, where we can see the explosion, we can see the heroes fighting the stance, and they just finished doing this. But how did they get there? What? Come again? So one of the things I did, DW, with this was that I kept the drawings in between my writing sessions very light. Very light. And I didn't hinder the writing process because of things that I didn't know how to draw. There's settings and things but I did keep in mind limiting certain settings. There honestly maybe five settings, 5 locations, and 2 of them are separated by time. So there's a village that we visit that looks terrible, dilapidated, and ruined, and we see it and experience it when it wasn't, and find out why it was made that way. So those type of things. There's an inn. Their village, the village of Zorn, it's not necessarily a kingdom. There's no king, queen, or anything like that. The hierarchy is run by just a democratic leadership in that sense. So the successions fall naturally. Sometimes it's by the strongest fighter. Sometimes it's the strongest tactician, a general, a doctor, those type of things. So there's never a type of of democratic voting or anything like that. It becomes natural, and that's just stuff that I have in my mind. It'll never happen in my stories, but I keep it there as a backbone of it, of that place, their place. Whereas this here, the Dark King Turtel, his village, he was he became a physician, became a doctor, he became a chemist, became those things because there's a, I don't want to call it a MacGuffin, but there's a thing, that a thorough line through it all, of a gem, a mineral that is good. And when it's good, it's called benison. It's a take on the word bendición, or blessing. Bendición in Spanish, blessing in English. It's grace. And medicinal, powerful, but when it's corrupted, it becomes brimstone. That's what they call it. It smells, it stinks, and it's powerful. It also heals, but it corrupts as well. You can manipulate people, just like any hardcore drug. You can use it to keep people in your control. You can use it to manipulate. You can use it to heal. People become dependent of it. It makes you do some of the things that you hate the most. Ooh, the spit lines. He's doing that. So that type of stuff. So and it alone, it reveals the darkest part of yourself, even if that part of you was what made you a good leader or protector. Like, it'll corrupt the stuff that makes you who you are. Kind of like, if you think about kind of like the symbiote, like Spider-Man symbiote. He wants to protect, but he has to fight. So all he knows is how to fight and be aggressive. That's a very simplified version of the symbiote, but early on in the stories, that's kind of like what he was doing. He was like, and getting frustrated. Anyway, it's kind of like, some of it is just is lore and not fully explained, but it's explained enough, I feel, that as you go through the story, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to do, I wanted to touch on certain things on addictions, my own, not trying to vilify people that have addictions or deal with it. And the old drinker's guilt afterwards when people do something, or that type of guilt, and that weird pain and pity and how many I'm sorry's that don't matter anymore. Like, yeah, whatever. From people, and trying to live beyond those stupid and inconsiderate and unthoughtful things that we've done. But I also showcase our leaders, family here, a lot of family and a lot of love of people that accept those mistakes and can see past it as long as you're trying to, that you show you're trying to make yourself better. Yeah, yeah, I would hope so. You know, there's things in here that are personal. There's things in here that are an exaggerated feeling. Nothing exploitative. I don't think. I don't think. But there's certain things. There's people who do things or react because of jealousy, and how jealousy kind of like blinds certain things, blinds the truth. You know, jealousy will make you, if you're an athlete and you covet somebody's success, jealousy will block out the cheers that are for you. You won't hear them. You know, uh, jealousy in relationships will not let you take in the times that people say that they love you and they care for you. You'll always go, yeah, but, in your mind, even if you don't say it, yeah, but. And those are things that sadly I seen and experienced, and I use them and use some of those to try to tell some of these stories. Like there are tropes here. The jealous uncle, like Scar from the Lion King, but you know, the the king that tells so little of the truth that you think everything he says is a lie. The heroine who puts the weight of protecting her people on herself and constantly failing and losing those. She's destined in my story. This is stuff is lore. A lot of this is lore that will is more for me and how I have them speak and how things happen. In this story, she is destined to become a Valkyrie. So her willingness to take life and preserve life is always there. Because a Valkyrie's only purpose is to take the fallen. So imagine that a person who is destined to become a Valkyrie gets to choose who goes. Not only who goes, where you go. And in this world, there are dark and light Valkyries. If you were a really stinky person in life, your last point of grace is a dark Valkyrie asking the person who took your life if they want to claim it. There's still hope even for them, but sometimes we don't always forgive people. I never played D&D as a kid. I'm not a nerd, Sabo. No, I'm kidding. But I used to watch the show, the cartoon, and think that was like legit. Yes. No, no D&D for me. But you know what's cool? Nerd. Um, when I did have my subscription to Meta for my VR, but I bought a VR for my son, and then I played it most of the time. There was a game called Demos. Demos? Demos? Anyway, it's a really cool um, dungeon crawler a la like Gauntlet, and it's a four-player real time, and the the board is in 3D space, and you can rotate the board. The virtual space looks like somebody's basement from the 80s, so it has like VHS and um, tchotchkes and all that crap. It's really fun to play, and picking up cards for you pick up cards for weapons and defense, magic and healing. Your characters have certain powers anyway during their turns. They have it's all grid system. If you're a D&D, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think it's called Demos. It's really fun, but I haven't played it since my you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna hit the like on my own videos because y'all don't be hitting no likes. Y'all don't like me, y'all. But I don't want to be pilfering you guys for likes and stuff like that. I appreciate your company more than anything, but I just did go and like my own video. my own live stream. My own live stream. So see, I do as I do. What am I missing here? It's pretty much done, honestly. All I really need is then give myself enough space to put the title. If anything, I put my signature. I think I'm gonna use. I have a sword in my office, and I'm gonna see if I can mimic the hilt. So she has a sword, not necessarily mystical, but it has mystical properties because of the material is made of. So this dude here, that's what you're referring to, Sapo? He is the titular character. He is the titular ghost of Arlon. There really isn't that much that is known about it. But it lives under this dude's village. Turtel. His village is the village of Arlon. It used to be beautiful and green, and what happened was that they found a fissure, a cave system underneath their village that had that brimstone and Benison stone. So they started to manufacture it because they saw its properties. This creature here is consumed by that stone, by nothing but brimstone. So what it does is that because it creates it manifests the thing you hate the most. So it becomes that. It's just a hulking, gross looking creature. All he does is growl and roar. And if there's ever a huge extent of energy, anger, fight, love, it attracts it because it hates that stuff. So during a During a random attack on their village, this creature appears. So they want to know why this guy potentially released that creature onto their village. So yes, that this guy here is the captain of the village. He took over after the death of these kids' parents 10 years ago. And there's a weird uneasy alliance between the two. So they're always because of that attack on their village, they've wondered what the heck is all that about. Yeah. Yeah, I think so, man. Like I tell you, di- and this might be um, the third iteration of this story because these kids, the original story was based on their dad, and it was going to be a 6-page non no dialogue 6-page story of their pops, this old warrior, coming home, retiring from battle after raiding a village. He's done. He goes home. He's already retired his sword and his shield. He goes home. Uh, he and some of this still stays in there. He goes home. His wife and his kids greet him. They mess around. He this is his life is over. His war life is over. Um, uh, he notices they don't have food. He goes, so he has to go and hunt. All of this is all in silent. He goes to hunt, and during him hunting food, the village that he raided was able to track him down. The survivors were able to track him down, and they kill his family while he's out. So the whole story was just going to be that singular panels with very little little to no dialogue, just kind of like text, and it was going to be like this graphic revenge story. And then I was telling the setup to my kids, and they were like, "Well, what if the kids survive? What happens then?" Then it became, oh, he realized that he's the reason that that village came to go get him. But yeah, I pretty much got everything in place. Like I said, it's almost done. I'm at the fight. I'm at the climactic fight between them, him, everybody. And I'm just tying up, making sure there's no loose ends. This isn't going to be a world to continue. Maybe it will be, but this is a standalone story. So I'm trying to put everything in it. Yeah, me too. My son. So there was gonna be it kept adapting. So Pop Dukes, he avenges his family, and when he gets to the home of the main leader of the horde that killed his, it was just going to be a really crappy cycle of events. It was going to just be a revolution of things that constantly never changing. But something, when he gets there, all he sees are his enemies' wife and kids. A mirror image of what he saw when he got home, the beginning of the story. And it messes him up, and he turns away to leave. So I was going to have it that he was still going to die at the end, but that it was going to be his enemy's son to do it. And then my son Christian said to me, "Well, why don't you should do it so that his kids didn't die, that one of them survived and was behind him, a few steps away the whole time." So he finally gets to see his dad. They're about to reunite. Instead, his pop's life gets taken. So the cycle continues. I was like, damn. So I started it that way. And then when I just started tip tapping away on the keyboards, it changed again. The intro stays the same. Pop Dukes gets home. He actually gets attacked by his kids as he welcomes. Tragedy happens. He tells them to leave, to go back, to get his men, to get his sword. And that is the last time they see of him. They and us. And then that intro, then we time jump to when they're adults. And they still have had those questions of, what happened? How did the enemy get there? How did he get dead? All those things. So. Yeah. Yeah, and I love those games, those Last of Us games. And what's crazy about that game, right? It's Tommy. Spoiler alert. At the end of the second game, spoiler alert, Tommy's the dude that's like, yeah, we found him. And that's kind of like that thing, right? That's the thing that even if you want to try to move on, from that tragedy, will other people let you? Will your own conscience let you? Oh no, spoiler alert. It was the butler. You didn't hear none of that. You didn't hear none of that. You don't know what I'm talking about. That game is old. Shame on you. I've finished both of those games multiple times when it came out on the PS3. Was it PS2? And then remastered on the 3? Or PS3 and then remastered on the 4? One of the two. I'm sorry, I didn't see the chat when I was like, spoiler alert. I should have. I should have paused. I should have Speaking of spoilers, it won't be that. Are you aware? Are you familiar with Red Dead Redemption, the sequel? One of my favorite all-time games. One that I'm going to do actually for the end of this year. I already have planned what my final painting of the year is going to be, and it's going to be a Red Dead Redemption painting. I'll wait. I'll wait for you to respond before I start spoiling it. I think I lost him. That's my bad. Did you watch the? While I wait, while I wait for you to recover. Um. Gotcha. You stopped when you switched. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, that's why you stopped? Oh man, so you didn't see when? No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. Did you watch the HBO series? Okay. So, anyway, Red Dead Redemption. So, um, my brother-in-law knows I play these games, and the game just came out. It's super popular. He's like his nephew. We're all hanging out at his house uh, for a cookout or whatever, and I should just mention a different name, but anyway. He I start talking to somebody there about the game. I just started it. And he introduced. No, Red Dead. Not Red Dead. They did The Last of Us. Don't spoil it for DW. But yeah, during while we was talking about Red Dead, my brother-in-law grabbed his nephew and said, "You playing that game, right? Yeah. What happens?" And the kid just blurted out, "Oh yeah, he dies of tuberculosis." And I think I just had gotten the game. I'm like, But the game is so huge. Hundreds, if not thousands of hours that you can lose there. He got those eyes, don't he? Hey, how you doing? But I was like, wow, what a butt. So I'm sorry. Now I know. Now I know how that feels. So I apologize, DW. Gotcha. Gotcha. The game is so immersive, dude. I remember the shock I had when when they showed the first few minutes of the gameplay on YouTube. It was so well done and cinematic that I showed it to everybody. I showed it to my mom, who doesn't play. I showed it to my wife, to my aunt. The shock of what happens to Joel, Tommy, and his daughter in that first game, in that first part of the game, is so well done. So I watched it, and then playing it is just as intense. And I'm from Boston. I'm from Boston, from where the game starts. And I laughed at their locations because none of it was accurate. See, that's kind of cool. You know what I would just take? I would just take games that or systems, because it should be able to do it, that have weather patterns, if it'll match where you are and match the weather patterns that you're experiencing. And here in Florida, I was playing DayZ last night, and there was some lightning and thunder. That would have been pretty creepy. Have you pre-ordered your GTA yet? I was mentioning how this reminds me of the cover to Fright Night. Remember Fright Night, or is that? You don't have a gaming system? Well, well. I used to play Madden all the time and yell at my screen. No, I don't play Madden at all. I just finished playing Silent Hill. That was great. Silent Hill 2, the remake. My kids are trying to have me play Resident Evil, the remake or the latest one. I played one. I think it was 7. Again, using the PlayStation VR. Pff, that was a mistake. Hell, a mistake. But I think yeah. So I'm going to be back on. I worked on that one. Which one? Don't lie. 7? Is that 7? Yeah, bro. It it reminded me a lot of Texas Chainsaw. Yo, Resident Evil 2 all day. All day. Why'd he bite me? Wow. Okay, gotcha. Well, the VR one, it was kind of like tacked on. You know how they did Skyrim, right? Elder Scrolls Skyrim, where it wasn't really VR. They just it was so well done 3D wise that they was able to, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's cool, man. It was very much like Yeah, dude. Sugar. Uh no, thank you. There's a shot in there early in the game, very early, because like I said, I didn't finish it, and I don't plan on it. Very early, and they keep moving the old man or the old woman. I think it's the old woman, the grandmother. They keep moving her body, so she will be sitting in certain places in the house. And in VR, I was just walking across a hallway, second floor hallway, and she was across the room. And I'm like, is her head gonna follow me as I walked? Yep, it did. That's awesome, dude. Uh, with a marketing team, bought a bunch of trucks and painted them black and drove. That's cool. So you worked on their marketing, on their the same way you did for the Conan, that type of concept design, concept art, right? Not concept art. The thing I got to figure out is how to do convert these shading textures that I do. That's pretty cool, man. That game is great. I just never finished it. They keep telling me to. If I do, it won't be in VR. I don't think, no, because I switched to the PS5 anyway. Oh, sure. Are you done with that part of your creative process, man? Are you just doing the website? So you still work with these game companies doing concept art? No, right? How would you have time? Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to use. Yeah, Biohazard. That was the Biohazard was the Japanese name. That was Capcom. I gotta clean my swords. But are you done doing that type of artwork? Or, I got this bad boy. Yeah, I gotta clean this stuff. But I think I'm going to try to. I might do that hilt. Maybe. Might be too much. No, I got you. Is it what, thankless work? But yeah, dude, you know, I think what I if yeah, I don't even know what I would take if I would trade would be the just the experience of drawing that often, that much. But I can understand how it removes the joy. I'm sure I might use this one instead. Now I gotta try to find a way to draw this in perspective. Oh yeah, DW. You know how your boy uh you know how he maxed out his first credit card? Swords. I'm so stupid. Swords and what did I get? A sound receiver. Nah, dude. If you want to take phone calls at 12, 20 sketches by 9. It's close. Not quite. But it's close. It has this thing here. I had a few. I have another sword over there. No, these are cheap blades that I bought, and they sent 20 of them. 4 swords or so, a bunch of daggers and blades, 2 Bowie knives, some army knives. I lived in the freaking projects of Charlestown, little Puerto Rican kid with freaking swords. Your boy was a dingus, and they just stayed with me. People can't believe it. These are dull as hell, but that'll hurt. I do have some that are fully sharpened. Oh yeah. No, you don't want those. Those are whack. I'll send you some. How to spend your money. That should be the name of my show. I've never used them. I think I was gonna try to develop something of a child with a sword and have my daughter when she was a wee one pose with them, but never worked out. But But yeah, dude, every time I go to somebody's channel, like Ginger Bear uh, showed his Alex Toth Zorro. I think it was off of Kickstarter. Yeah, there you go. 20 years in the making. And I'm like, oh man, I hope I don't find it. And then the Steve Ditko Spider-Man artist edition is out, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I honestly, Not a huge fan of his artwork. It is what it is. But seeing how I'm appreciating all of these other artists, I'm like, I saw some pictures of it. Ugh, it looks so good. And I said, nope. Keep it in there. Keep it in somebody else's house. Um, I don't know what I did there, but I'm gonna use it. There's the only thing I have that I probably will buy because my birthday's coming up. Is Frazetta's, what's it called? His name is funny. The sensual Frazetta. Not even the sensuous Frazetta. It doesn't make sense. The hardcover, I have one of his other books. The hardcover is about 30 beans. The paperback is 175. Why? Because they can scan it, that's why. That's gross. What is that? I'm looking at a surrealism real quick. No thanks. Nightmare Fuel. So there you go. Where was I? Face, rendering. I'm almost done here. I think the last thing I'm going to end up messing around with is trying to figure out this sword. Maybe armor design. I'm going to be quite honest with you. She's not. This is going to be one of those. You know how movies be having trailers for movies be having scenes that won't be in the movie? I don't think there's any point in my story where she's rocking armor, but that's okay. Keep it from being boring. But yeah, I think I found it. Just keep tweaking here. I'm going to be doing so much studying on these old school artists. Speaking of Conan, all these Conan sagas and these I got some other ones over there. I need to live in this texture, man. Because there will be trees. And I'm not going to do much color in my artwork for this story. That's right. Those are what's the word I'm looking for? The DVD specials. You guys getting the shots from the DVD specials. Oh, that's great. So, but again, this thing's gonna take a while. I'm in no rush. I think I'm gonna be doing a ton of this stuff instead. A lot of fan art, my own stuff. That's the way we're supposed to do it. Build it up so much so, and then hit you with the J.R. Martin and never finish it. G.R. J.R. George. G.R. Good day. 11 o'clock. I gotta go hit up my boy, Julio Cesar Petrini. He's nasty with the chainmail. So, DW, what I did for when I was developing and writing these stories in real time with my characters, because I kept them more as a, they represented more of the feeling I was aiming for. See, oh, you dipping? Take it easy, Sebo. I should be here for about another half an hour or so. And then I'm going to jump back on today around 3 o'clock. See if we can do a painting workshop. I'm going to pull out the Dr. Doom artboard and my Galacnoid, my Galactus Magneto. What should I call it? Galactus and Magneto. That would be what? Menactus? That would be... Alright, we gotta figure it out. Magneto. Galactus. Magnetus? Nope. Galacnito? I kind of like Galacnito. Gagnetus. Gelato? Boom. So yeah, thank you, sir. I'm going to be doing, I'm going to, yeah, I'll show you. I didn't do much after that last time. I just tightened up the lines like I did. And then yesterday I hit it with the fixative. So today on the Wednesday workshop, I am going to put the acrylic wash on it. What I'm going to do off screen when I leave now is I'm going to put the gesso. What did we experience the last time? Yes, I didn't put gesso, and then we noticed how the acrylic was kind of washy. That happened on the Doom. I don't want that to happen here. So I'm going to put gesso off screen, and then in the afternoon we'll do the wash together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this guy. I got to show you, man. The last time I painted, what the frick was it? I didn't sign it. It wasn't Monday. It was last week, I think. This is still, let me make sure it's not moldy. That'd be gross. This is still the color I had in there. No, that's just moisture. It's still wet. Look at that. It's still shiny and juicy, still workable. So I didn't want to chuck it. I'm testing the longevity of this wet palette, and it's been blowing my mind. So I'm going to use these the skin tone-ish. And I'm just going to start painting the eyes. And then we'll go from there. Okay. Yeah, we'll go from there. So that'll be for this afternoon. Like that. It won't just be drawing. And anyway. That's what that workshop's going to be. Yeah, that palette, man. $6. $6 make you worth it, every penny. Again, I think it's used more for figurines, like the little War of Warcraft Not War of Warcraft. Yeah, Warhammer, those type of figurines or military figurines. Maybe even these type of dudes. And they use those wet pellets. Yeah, we could do the gesso on top of that. The gesso is just clear. The gesso is just there for to add texture, and you don't really need it with these artboards. And I think I added it. I added this acrylic with it. Now I can't remember what I did. I'm gonna have to go back. No, you can tell. You can see on the bottom here how it didn't stick. That's because of the watery nature of the wash. Yeah, you could throw gesso on top of here, but at this point it wouldn't matter. The acrylic has left a really good layer for the gouache to sit on top, so I won't have to worry about it being watery or beating off or fighting the application of gouache anymore because of the acrylic. But if you want, I'll throw gesso on this this afternoon. I'll hit it with the blow dryer, and we'll do that too, man, just to test it out. I like the way you think, man. It don't hurt nobody. It's not gonna hurt me. It's just gesso. The gesso ends up drying clear anyway. So we'll do that, just to be safe. But again, I think I'm only gonna work on the small piece of the eye. I want to see this. I want to try something out. Like this isn't my natural style. It looks beautiful in my opinion, but I did this because I've had trouble blending greens before. So I wanted to save myself the tragedy of overblending and ruining it. So I went with a very tiled approach, using eventually 4 different types of green, and it worked out. So I want to see if I can match that type of layer of clarity, which I've seen done. It's not like I invented it. It was just the first time I did something like this that was successful. So I'm going to try to use that technique. I'm trying to get them both here on screen. This toweling method in there. And maybe, who knows? Who knows how it come out? But honestly, all I have to do is make sure that the colors don't touch or don't mix. But I couldn't help it. There's some spots in here that I went over, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I have to go back to add a bit more detail and color on the suits, but this was such a really cool experiment, really cool homage to the cover. I got it done, got rid of my fear of the canvas and as artists we always like, oh, that looked really good, I don't want to ruin it. When it comes to artboard, you really got to just knuckle up and make it happen. And what happens, you have to accept it. Just take your time, figure it out, take your time, get a plan. Like, there's so many different techniques in here. I tried this cloud painting technique that I saw that someone used for using oils. First time I tried it here, using light purples, pinks and blues and grays and whites, and I'm like, that's beautiful, works. This is kind of more my technique, this kind of like weird overdone blending, but it worked what I needed. And then bam, that bright, this was really stands out to me. I even did some line work down here about this piece, the different techniques used, the blending, the laying on top, the layering, the tiling. That's definitely blending up there. Letting some of the background wash come through, like didn't saturate everything. It gives it a layer of movement. Yeah, a lot of the to simulate the Kirby crackle. Yeah, I was trying to simulate as much energy from the cover as possible. I finally put it away. But yeah, I'm digging it. These poor guys need a little bit more detail. They do, but anything after this is just a home run, so. Alright, so that's what we'll do this afternoon. Be low key. Low key on a Wednesday. Sorry, what do I need to work on? I think he's pretty much done. I'm going to tighten up these lines. I have to figure out, and this isn't the final pass, like I said, I'm going to scan this in, and then I'm going to see if I can find a way to pencil these textures so that I can ink it. Ooh, I know you're talking about the other one. I gotta add some Kirby crackle here. Maybe I can add some crackle up here somewhere. And I gotta figure out how to do braids. It's close enough. But right. I think that's the only thing that is the sword. Get the sword in perspective. The hilt, design the hilt. All right. What I'm trying to find is just a box where I can draw it. Give myself some dimension. I know it's square, but it won't stay square. And I don't think that is correct. That's the hardest part. Alright, so we was talking about composition and how I was failing, what I felt like I was failing, and all this stuff that I was working on. I just wanted to show you guys one last thing before I dip. This cool little nycphotosafari.com. There, if you want to try it, you can freeze frame and see if you can grab that QR code. This is what I use, what I have been using, and what surprisingly has been my go-to composition alignment. Man, I don't know if you'll be able to see it with the lines in there, but here, I'll show you what it look like without it. Right? And if you, I wish it was a little darker, but if you see kinda how that matches what I'm working on here. If this was a little bit darker, it would make a lot more sense. But yeah, the lines of my heroes, the eye lines, the energy, that line up here for the other villain. It's a great tool that helps you line up your stuff. And it's not just this one. Even though that seems to be my favorite, it seems to be my go-to. And even when I don't use it to try to track my things, I've noticed that I have subconsciously, that's just the Fibonacci, the spiral. I don't use this one as much. But I'm trying to think if I did, I think it would be that way. With our hero with the most detail. Well, there you go. I know it's difficult to see, so I apologize. Right? That's that one. And then lastly, this one you guys have on your phones. I recommend using these things. If you don't have those, obviously, the rule of thirds, the rule of tree. Did that work for me? Yep. If you guys remember when I first even started working on this cover, not only did I measure the page, the halfway point, which is where my main that character is, I split the page into threes. And everything seems to be working okay. They take the top half, top quarter, the two bottom thirds, first thirds, third over here. Oh yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool doing the same posters with different compositions. Absolutely, absolutely. And what's really cool is that it can change if I was to go and paint these. If I was to use the spiral, that would mean that the detail, the majority of the detail will fall under the hero here. Him, her, and then slowly dissipating the heroes in the back and using that curve. That curve. Could be for eye line. If you notice, my curve is the eye line. It's kind of nuts how this thing, not using this, I didn't use this at all. How the eye line is my curve. You guys see that? It's hard to see, I know, I'm sorry. So me putting this on the screen really doesn't help. But I think you guys get an idea of what's happening here. You know, these were, I think these cost less than $5, the whole kit, all three of them. Oh, this is rule of three. But yeah, but this one right here seems to be my go-to. Yeah, he gets a nice window. She gets an amazing window. He gets energy from that cross. You get an eye on that line. These two get a window. They get a window. You get an eye from her face to the edge of the sword. These are valuable tools that people don't really share or show. I think digital artists, I'm not saying anything against them. I think they're amazing artists. They got these tools that are automatically set up in their system to help them in that sense. I know when I use Photoshop or Photopea, I'd use grids and dividing lines all the time to keep me in line with my page. And when I was struggling here, I knew I had a simple composition of him in the center, third and thirds. These in the bottom really kind of like threw me for a loop a bit. Yeah, everybody gets a window. But stopping, standing up and seeing, okay, I'm actually okay. The reason why my full figure was failing here was because he was not fitting into really good compositional space. And although it seems redundant, 4 big old heads and then the body, this actually makes sense for my characters. She's a tank. She fights. He thinks he's a tactician. He's wondering. He's looking. He's studying. He's a liar. He's happy to cause deceit. He's happy to get in your head. He struggles with truth. He struggles with doubt. And the ghost puts so much weight on everybody. He's loud. There you go, guys. I'm still working on this thing. I'm going to be working on the sword. I think it's going to be a lot of erasing. Maybe at one point, if it gets too bananas, I'm just going to scan it in and see if I can cheat and superimpose a pose in there and still draw it after the fact. That's how we do it. That's just part of the process. Find what helps, find what works, and do it. Later on today in the workshop, we're going to be painting a bit. I want to work on that palette so I can clean it. We'll do the gessos on both frames. The gesso dries pretty quick. And then we'll start painting Dr. Doom's eyes on that. So I'm going to let the music play me out. I'm going to clean up. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I will see you guys in the afternoon. This is Art to the Round Table. My name is Mello. God bless you. Love you. Mean it. Until later on today. I'll draw you later. Bye.